Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Kevin, the first half of the Two Shy Guys and One Mic show with my man here. What?
You did it again.
What I do?
Two Shy Guys and the Mic.
Two Shy Guys and the Mic.
He actually came up with the name, and he can't even remember it.
See, I come up with so many names. See, I'm like a name generator. You know, I just come up with so many of them that sometimes it just be slipping the dome. But hey, thanks for joining us. We definitely appreciate the time and attention that you give us. Today we asked the question. We started out with, can social media help you grow your net worth? And we kind of did a play on words because we were thinking about network.
Yes.
But then we were thinking, like, what really do you want to do when you think about a network, especially coming from an entrepreneurial or just kind of money, wealth building point of view, in that first and foremost, we all in this life, whether we want to admit it or not, we seek to grow our net worth. Not for selfish reasons, but for selfless reasons. Because the more money you have, the more money you can give. The more wealth that you have, the more resources you have access to, in order to be a bigger, more charitable, loving, and giving person in this world. So we decided to talk about what can you use social media to grow your net worth. And of course, you're talking with me and you're talking with Leif and me. So of course, the answer is going to be what?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely, it's essential. We think that it's high priority that we use these tools, these platforms like social media and any other platform on the internet, to use them to grow your net worth and first and foremost, grow your network, so that you can build a support system, a community, a tribe that you can formulate and design and architect a tribe that you want to be a part of, versus happen to haphazardly falling into a tribe or a culture like in the years of yesterday, when you just, hey, I got out of school, I studied, now I gotta go get a job, and now I'm a part of this community that I really don't even know much about and really couldn't care less about. But we live in an age and a time where you can now cultivate and choose who you want to connect with, collaborate with, and build a network with, so that you can, in a community, build together your net worth.
Yeah, and even as simple as like job placement, right? Finding a job, trying to get hired somewhere, you have to have connections into that company, into that place of work. So having the connections in terms of knowing maybe possibly who the owners are, who the hirers are, or even some of the employees that can give you a good word, is always important in order to increase your income. Also, not only that, but even as an entrepreneur, you always have to know new people to come in contact with, distribution.
Oh man, studio technical difficulties over here. We're gonna get it together though.
Yeah,
all right, I think we're good. Snap back. Ain't that a rap song or something?
I have no idea. Snapback, I know, is definitely a hat though. That's a snapback.
Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, what we were saying is having increasing your net worth is always dependent upon other people, right? OPM, other people's money, and really that boils down to community, having a variety of people that you can reach out to, whether it be a good or a service that you can sell to. Is always other people's money that helps all of our wealth increase. So increasing your net worth is vitally important in these days and times, in any day and time, really, because most people, when they're secluded, they really don't increase their wealth at all outside of reaching out to people. So what are some tips that you can think we can share with the people?
Some tips is, as far as like using social media, you now have access to people, to avenues, decision makers, gatekeepers that you may not have had access to in the past, or may have been harder for you to make a connection with in the past. So definitely take advantage of social media and look up some people, look up some gatekeepers, some decision makers, some people in positions that you would like to get in contact with, and use social media like LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Use all of them, any one of them at one of these platforms to get connected and get in relationship and an acquaintance with some of these hubs in the network, so that you can go about building your net worth. Just an example on that, I recently, well, not recently, but in the past, I've made connections just simply through Facebook with an individual who happened to have a nice site that got a lot of traffic, and he was a very influential person in his sphere of his category, as far as like in the blogging sphere and stuff like that. So that may have not been made available to me had not I used the Facebook platform. And I just simply wanted to reach out to him because I heard him on a radio show. And I mean, how easy is that you hear somebody on a radio show or a live stream, you look them up on Facebook, LinkedIn, and then you just send an email or a message, or you just reach out to them. Now you got access to telephones even. I've had people just contact me in my messenger just because they see me on a live stream and said, "Hey, I just wanted to talk to you for a minute."
Yeah, for sure.
So the accessibility, the availability of people in this world today, it's amazing, and it would be ashamed not to take full usage of these tools that's available to us and use them to grow your network, which hopefully translates to growing your net worth.
Okay, yeah, and one of the things that actually made us start talking about this, what's going on, Miss Cheryl?
Hey, Cheryl.
Somebody had made mention to us that they're in a new location, a new state, city, and they're shy. They really don't know how to get out and go meet people. Social media is definitely a great place to do that. There's a variety of different ways to do it. You can do it through Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and but definitely utilize LinkedIn and also meetups. If you have a specialty or a specialized field that you're very interested in, meetups are a great way to meet people. I know that every time I travel, when I go somewhere, like I'm a designer by trade, anytime I go to a new location, I always go on meetup.com and I look for a variety of meetups that basically focus around my interests, right? I know early on when we were early in the Bitcoin days, me and Lamar, we would go to every Bitcoin meetup, especially when we traveled out west to San Francisco, even some of the smaller cities. We would go to these meetups, and then that's how we slowly started building up our network. Because what you find over time, if you have a specialized interest, then you will start meeting new people every time you go to these locations, and you'll start meeting the same people sometimes. Conferences are a good way to go as well in order to meet people. Make sure that you seek certain kinds of people out and those kinds of things. See, Mwando, he said it's a tool to finding your tribe. Definitely. Let's say you guys get started selling something I would need definitely. And like Mwando said, he used the perfect word, tribe. You're finding people of like mind, and that's what we talk about all the time, increasing your network, increasing like-minded people, find people that you can rock with. How can two walk together lest they agree? That was when Amos 3:3. So it is that kind of vibe, right? And again, not only that, but your group of people can help you find other people that are outside of your scope, right? I'll share a story with you guys in a little bit about how we utilize our network in order to grow literally our net worth. And that came in very viable, especially like when we first went out west to California, we didn't know anybody. Like literally, it was like maybe one person out there, and we were able to grow our network within a span of maybe several days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
amazing.
I don't know if any of you know me from my personal page. If you see the Dr. Dre video, the Dr. Dre post that we have on there, that was all within a matter of days that we were able to meet these people, and we did that just by hustling and networking, utilizing social media in order to do that.
Yeah, it's amazing. You just talked about within a matter of 7 days, and that's the amazing thing about these tools is that it does not take a lot of time.
Not at all.
To do this. Like I said, the power of these tools is amazing. And when I'm talking, I'm thinking about what we were discussing this topic earlier. It made me think about the book Super Connect by Richard Koch and Greg Lockwood, and he talks about harnessing the power of networks and the strength of weak links. A weak link is somebody that's out of your inner circle, and it's those acquaintances on the outside of that inner circle that actually provide some of the more biggest jumps to your people equals money. That is so much. That's so true. It's those acquaintances that actually provide the biggest steps or links to people that may be on the outer rim of your network that will actually help you make that big jump as far as your net worth. There is some truth to the notion that Kevin 6 degrees of separation from the Kevin Bacon thing. Yeah, there is some truth to that. He talks about it in the book. And some studies that were done by some sociologists and stuff, and there is some truth to that. Everybody on this planet is connected in some way, shape, or form, and it's just about finding those right combinations. And with the tools, like I said, that's available to us today, it's becoming more easily seen, and that we can actually see these connections. So at our level, when you're actually as a participant on these platforms, you really don't see the forest for the trees. But if you're at the Facebook office, corporate level, they see all the connections.
Yeah, definitely. And even going back to the 6 degrees, I think it's even less now, actually. When I look at especially tools like LinkedIn, and you go through your list of people, and it's like, man, okay, I'm just one degree away from this one person, right? And it may be somebody that can change or impact your life immediately. And I want to even take that a little bit further in terms of talking about if they are in your network, how do you effectively reach out to them to get them to respond to you?
Yeah.
Right? It's one thing to have the tool. It's one thing to see Kevin. It's like, okay, I'm in the same building as Kevin. Now, what is the next step for me to get Kevin to become part of my network? And this is where it really gets complicated for shy people, right? But here's how you overcome your shyness. Here's how you overcome your fears. Is if you really want to reach a particular person, this is for particular people only, you research that person.
That's
right?
what I was going to say.
If I know that Kevin, he's into fitness, he's into natural things, he's into working in the earth, then and he's famous, if he's famous, then there's information I can read up about him to know what his interests are. And especially if you're going to a meetup, you already know what everybody's interests are, so that's actually an easy introduction. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, you're in a design meetup. How did you get into design? Just small icebreakers, and actually ask real questions, things that you may have an interest in, and that tends to break the ice in and of itself. When you're interested in other people become interested in you.
Man, that's Dale Carnegie, ain't it?
I don't know.
Oh, how to win friends and influence people.
Yeah, but it's like just having a genuine interest in what somebody does, that actually helps break the ice in terms of getting them to communicate with you. Yeah, icebreaker. Yeah, and so it's those kinds of things. Like for me, like being a shy person, I don't like small talk. I just mentally I don't have time for it. It just bothers me. But Lamar, my business partner, tell you when I get into a room, I make sure I go and I ask real questions. Sometimes I'll just look at somebody, see them interacting with other people, and then I'll say something to them. I know how not to be shy. I just prefer to be laid back and reserved as just my zero state. But when in those scenarios, you have to be confident in, one, who you are. Be very confident in who you are. And also, I agree, Cheryl. People love to talk about themselves. But again, get them to answer real questions. Because if you find out real questions about that particular person, then the next time you meet them or the next time you want to follow up with them, you know something about their personal life that they themselves have told you that you can bring back up to continue the conversation on.
Yep.
And that's something that a lot of people miss. I always make it a point when I do meet new people, utilizing social media, utilizing these meetups, I follow up and I always bring up something from our conversation to make them remember me. Because it's one thing if you remember them, but it's more important that they remember you.
Yeah, that's right on point. Studying, and it's like you said, studying is becoming much more easier today, especially with Facebook timeline, especially with everything. A lot of details that people just put out there. It's so readily accessible to us. The FBI and the CIA. They're being worked out of a job right now because everybody there's no secrets anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like here, just print.
Yeah,
print,
you ain't
right?
got to do no stakeouts or nothing no more.
Yeah. And also, it just made me think of something. And now with the fact that you have mobile devices, because before last year, I didn't have a mobile phone. I used Wi-Fi for everything.
Oh man.
But anyway, that's why I'm new to this whole phone piece, right? However, what you can do is, instead of, like Cheryl said, she used to keep index cards, add them directly into LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Boom, right there. It's like, hey, here, type your name in for me. Get all that information right there. Now you know even more information about them while you're actually talking to them. So that in and of itself is a blessing. And before that, I used to just take pictures of people.
Yep.
I used to take pictures of people, put them in my contacts. So now I remember their face. That's why social media is very important, because you not only remember the information, but you can attach a face to it. You can attach an event to it, and all of these different things that help you attach yourself to these people.
It literally becomes an augmented tool, like a SD card.
For sure.
For
it's just
brain.
like anybody, like, for example, what was it? When were you here? Was it Sunday? No, Saturday. Remember, Lamar was like, "Man, who was that dude that we met? That he did such and such. We met a guy. He was from Y Combinator. He built an app for barbers.
Oh yeah.
He was like, what's his name? I was like, okay. I remember his face. I was like, I think it's Dave. And go to my LinkedIn. Boom, he's right there because I added him the day we met.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, so that way I didn't have to worry about retaining too much of his information. I remember what he looked like and I remembered his name, so I could easily go through the D's. It's like I was thinking Dave, it was David. Looked him up, boom, right there, here's his information. So that kind of stuff is very important. Utilize these tools that are set before you. Use your phone as a tool. If you have a phone, chances are you do. Chances are you're on Facebook on your phone as opposed to a computer. Utilize your phone as a business tool.
The phone is the ultimate business tool.
Yeah, you have to utilize that information, because you definitely want to make sure. Again, we're talking about getting out, growing your network, all of these kinds of things. Utilize these tools in order to grow your network, which affects your network.
But not only just from a business standpoint. We've had contact with individuals just talking about they need support in life, general. So just not only just talking about from a business standpoint as far as net worth with wealth and resources, but net worth in terms of people, in terms of getting support when you're away from family, in terms of growing your net worth, in terms of connecting with, I think Mwando talked about like minds.
Yes.
Growing your tribe. Growing your net worth in terms of having people that you can actually resonate with on a soul level, on a heart level. It's like, man, these people around here crazy, but I know there's a group of people, there's two guys that come on live stream that I know that we are resonating on all levels, and it's good to know that there are people out there that think like I think. I'm not alone. I do have some kind of support system out there. I do know that there may be a time in the future where we can do a meetup in the physical world. Yeah,
exactly. Prime example, I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. A dude named Michael Foster, met him years ago, and we've never met in person, like ever. Met him years ago because we both had a similar interest in comic books, and specifically it was a book by Ben Caldwell, and he had a forum in the back of his book like, hey, you can visit me online, and through there. And actually this was back in 2004. It's crazy to even think about the time. No, it was 2005. It's crazy to think how much time has gone by. The dudes that I met in their forum, I'm still friends with them today.
Yeah.
And I've never met them in person. I met them, like one guy, I met him while he began his drawing journey, and now he works at Cartoon Network. The other guy, he started off animating during the time that we met, and he, became a freelancer. This was before I even owned a business. we were talking about our dreams and all of those things, and again, met him online. And we were utilizing an online forum, talked to him. We would chat almost every day. We've done video conferences with each other. But even still, it's like we still have a connection to this day. And it's all because we utilized the tools that were available to us. And we had similar interests. And then those interests developed more conversations. And now it's like we've seen each other's kids grow. It's crazy how that stuff works. But that's the way these things develop, and they can grow over time. See, Cheryl said that was back in the day. Index cards funny. Yeah, there's an app I use now to scan cards. See, you still using cards. You got to even step it up even more, Cheryl. I'm gonna get on you about that. See, Mo Mosley, what's up, Mo? Said these guys totally belong in cool black dudes group. You must be talking about somebody else.
Yeah. I ain't never been in no cool dude group.
Well, I can't say that I haven't been. I'm always cool. I'm a brother, man. Yeah, but anyway, also, like you said, getting out of the digital and getting into analog where you can meet people in real life.
That's the most important thing is use digital as a substitute, a supplement to help you in the real world. Because it's the real world connections that really do satiate the soul and that really matter in the end of things. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that transpire in the analog that gets lost in the digital, being that digital is zeros and ones, and then analog is zeros and ones to infinity, right?
No. Analog is this.
Right. And well, analog, I was just saying zeros and ones in that there's always more zeros and ones in between the zeros and ones.
Yeah, but you're talking about computer code versus real life.
Yeah.
That's different, man. There's no zeros and ones in this unless you're talking about DNA strands. Okay, we're going to get off of
DNA is real life.
But the way you do make that, let's say, the unsociable
social network.
That's really true. One way to actually take that is, hold on, Mwando said something real quick. He said the flip side is the fake ones too. Their profile is far from their real life and competence. I definitely agree. But again, utilizing those conversations, it's the same way you figure out if somebody is fake or phony in real life, right?
Yeah.
The more you come in contact, you can only fake the funk for so long. The more you come in contact with somebody, whether it be through writing, whether it be through meeting them in person, you slowly to see who their character really is. And again, we talked about resumes and seeing what other people say about them. That'll let you know.
Man, well, that's one thing about, when you look at people, that's one thing about Facebook and the timelines now is that the timelines, you can only, like you said, fake for so long.
Oh, yeah.
And the timeline gives you, you keep strolling. Yeah, it gives you away, and they look at the groups, they look at the things they like, and just go through. You can really find out a lot about even the fake ones,
Yeah, it's like, I know you minister good light, and then I see you
you slipped up, bro.
There's that picture. but yeah, that's exactly how that works. Say plus, back in the day, I was single, but more white folks on Black Planet.
Black Planet, man.
I know, it's funny. Hey, Black Planet was the bomb back in the day.
Hey,
and I never talked to anybody. But yeah, one way that you can transition that bridge between the digital and analog, like I said, for me, is meetups. One dude I knew from, I still know him now. He told me, he said he utilizes LinkedIn whenever he goes to a new city. He'll get on his LinkedIn network and ask them who wants to meet for coffee. Who should I meet while I'm there, and can you give me a referral? And I've done that, and this was back in 2011 when he told me this, and I do that every time I go to a new city. If I go to a new city, I always hit up either anybody in my network that I currently know. It's like, hey, I'm going to be here. Would you like to meet for coffee? Where should I go? That kind of stuff. And also, like I said, the meetups they give you bang for your buck. Because they give not all the events, but all the social meetup events for a particular interest. It's not just for work's sake, but for particular interest. You get to go and meet these people, and then those people can introduce you to more people, so on and so forth. It's like a trickle-down effect, right? And so if you start utilizing these things and get out of your comfort zone, I know whenever I go to New York, I still have friends in New York to this day, because before I showed up, I didn't know any designers. I'm a designer by trade, but my space is the startup space, tech space, Bitcoin, blockchain space. So whenever Lamar and I would go to New York, I would always just go off on my own and go to these meetups so I could meet designers. I could meet New York designers, and even those people that I met through there, friends to this day. I always find a way to reach out to people because I like human connection. I'm like I said, I'm shy by nature, but I like human connection. I like meeting new people. I like understanding where other people are coming from. I like, just diving into, it's like, okay, what makes you find joy in this world? How do you operate and those kinds of things, because it helps me communicate with them and vice versa, and it helps give me a new perspective so I can add more wrinkles to my brain, right? So definitely utilize these social tools because you can get a lot of. He said, "Well, people are crazy." Yeah, especially females. You have to be very careful. That's why it's good to go to some of these social settings to where there's comfort in numbers, right? If you go to some of these social settings, then you can use the crowd to help weed out some of the weirdos, so to speak. Because I know it becomes definitely a danger issue, a safety issue when it comes to females, and I'm totally aware of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well you brought up talking about being introvert and shy, and it made me think of the book "Captivate: The Science of Successfully Captivating" by Vanessa Van Edwards. And for me, one of the things I had to do as far as like learning how to get out and network was, first and foremost, for me, I had to actually study the science of learning how to talk and communicate and cultivate and captivate and connect with people. So, and then that led me down the trail of getting jobs in sales and getting jobs in positions where I'm like out in customer service and stuff that. So if you don't have a real natural knack for the gift of gab, you can always develop that when it comes to learning how to connect and go through networks so you can increase your net worth in all areas of life and in human endeavor.
Yeah, and not only that, here's an easy way to communicate with people. And this is saying for somebody who spends 90% of his time quiet, is be curious. It's the same way you learn information, right?
That's what Vanessa Edwards talks about.
See, I should have wrote that book. I could have had her money. I could have had her money, right? but if you stay curious, if you forever stay curious, then you can always learn something new. You can always keep a conversation going. It's all of these little nuances about people. Think of how many quirks you personally have, right? If somebody starts digging and diving, it will unearth information about yourself that you don't even know. Because you don't even think about it all the time. But the more curious you stay, the easier it is to conversate with people. And not only that, it gives you an opportunity to share some of the things that you may know. So you talk, and then once you start getting into the flow, it really works out. Prime example, there was a guy named Mark. Hopefully he'll tune in. Mark, we were in a group, and we had a disagreement. It wasn't a big disagreement, but it was a disagreement. And I was like, you know what, brother, let's take this offline and talk. And so from this one disagreement, it was about, I can't even remember, it was about the Apple marketing lady that said something about diversity, and we were disagreeing on points. So we got on the phone. We got on Facebook chat, and we talked for 4 hours.
Wow.
And now we talk all the time. We communicate all the time. And it's simply because I was curious to get his viewpoint, and he was curious to get my viewpoint. Did y'all see it? I missed what you're talking about, Pam.
How did Get Out come up?
I know. Somebody said something. I stay asking. It was my wife. It's funny. I don't know how Get Out. Let us know how Get Out come, because one of the things when you all make comments and it doesn't sync up with what we're saying. So we may have made a comment a while ago. You talking about Get Out, and I'm lost. But anyway,
but Get Out was a good movie, though. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in Get Out. I don't know if you want to take this rabbit trail or not.
She said,
"Y'all too trusted." Oh, okay.
Not at all.
No, I keep my radar on. I keep that discerning radar on at all times. If I get a little inkling, I got no problem running.
And here's another thing, though. The more you communicate with people, the more you understand the psychology of people.
Yes.
The more people you come into contact with, the more cues you're able to pick up on, the more cues you're able to, you understand the give and go, right? It's like, again, I'm all about nuances. Me and my wife have more conversations about nuances because I try to dissect every little thing, and I'm sure she gets annoyed by that at times. But even those nuances in conversation, you get to pick up on people's their vibes, their reactions, and that's one of the reasons why I stay quiet most of the time. For me, it was because I was an artist. I love observing people. I love to draw people, those kinds of things. When I used to do photorealism type stuff, so I would always just study people. I would study their movements. I would study how they said certain things. Sometimes I even take notes on how people pronounce certain words. But it's those nuances. Yeah, reading people, exactly.
Yes.
I don't know who said that because we can't see it right now. But it's those, again, I don't know if Mark's talking to me, but it's like one of those things where the more you do that, the more comfortable you become, not only in your own skin, but the more comfortable you become around other people. So again, it's a lot of these things. Social media is very powerful in that, especially as an introvert and somebody that likes to study people, I can just sit back and look at, like you said, look at timelines, look at people's conversations, and really study who they are. And versus, even if it's people I know, who they are when I see them versus who they are in public. Yeah. So that, I know that's kind of on the side, but it's all of these things that make social media very powerful tool to network, which can grow your net worth. And I'll even talk about some of the net worth stuff. I want Kevin to say some more points.
As far as, I'm done. As far as some more points, I was still on Get Out. I was still on Get Out.
Because he said we too trusting. That's what she was talking about.
No, I mean, I was going to go down that rabbit trail about talking about the movie. I thought the movie was there was a lot of stuff in the movie.
You think I'm saying? Maybe it's a rap. Maybe I'm rapping. She said when you speak to her, it sounds like I'm singing.
Somebody singing.
Hey, as long as I'm not in falsetto, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. But yeah, going back to how social media has helped us grow our net worth. Like I said, me and my business partner, Lamar Wilson, you'll see him on here occasionally. When we went out to California, we were trying to get into contact with as many investors as possible. Before we left for California, we had some ideas around Bitcoin cryptocurrency, which is currently what we do today. And before we left, people here told us that it was impossible for us to go out there and actually get money. They said that was like winning a lottery ticket. And we're like, you don't even understand, based on where we're from, us being in this room talking to you at this moment is a lottery ticket as well. So, and we believe that we can hit the lottery anytime we choose to. Man. And so one of the things that we did, like I said, we went out to California. We had like one person that we knew, and that was the guy we were staying with. And so we took that opportunity. We were with him. It was like, okay, we literally wrote down and planned. We wrote down and planned everybody we wanted to meet and the kind of people we wanted to meet. And we had a week to meet as many of these people as we possibly could. So it was like, okay, we start writing that game plan. The very first place we went, and again, we didn't know anybody when we went to this place. They basically saw two black guys come in and they didn't want to give us the time of day. This is real talk. They didn't want to give us the time of day, but the one woman, because we were very nice, we're Southern gentlemen. We were very nice to her. She was like, look, you can go over here and sit down in this area. We'll just let you stay here for free. There's a place called Rocket Space. You can stay here for free and we'll just let you sit down. And we were like, you know what? We'll go over here. And immediately, because of the kind of vibe we were receiving, we was like, okay, we ready to pound the pavement and make this thing happen. So we just started hitting up all of our friends. We started utilizing LinkedIn, Facebook. I think those are the main two. Twitter. Hitting up all of our friends. Hey, we're in California right now. We're downtown San Francisco. Who do we need to meet? Who do you know? We're trying to find investors. We're trying to find business people. We're trying to talk to CEOs. All of these different things, right? And then as we were doing that, a guy came down the steps, and we met this guy one time in Lexington, Kentucky, at a bar that somebody invited us to because they just wanted to talk to us, and he just happened to be there. We're in San Francisco. Met this guy one time, never even had a conversation with him. And anyway, when we were there, again, going back to social media, I recognized his face. I was looking at him, I was like, man, he looks just like this dude. So I started typing in, I remembered his name was Ron. And Ron, if you ever come across this, I'm talking about you, brother. And when we saw him, it's like, you know what? Because we didn't know him, really know him, but it's like, again, remember, you have a context in which you meet somebody. There's something special. It's like always remember something about that person when you met them. So I remember that we met him at this particular bar. It was a particular friend, and we knew that he rode motorcycles. So I found him. I was like, we just happen to be Facebook friends because I always make sure I connect with the people that I meet so I can look them up and reference them later. I hit him up. I was like, hey man, do you happen to be in San Francisco at a place called Rocky Space? And he was like, because he had left at the time when I started looking it up, and he came back down the stage. He's like, oh man, this is perfect. He's like, who would have known that, this one chance meeting? And then he actually let us stay in his office for a week for free. We were able to utilize his office in that week for free. And not only that, all of the people that we had reached out to via social media, they got us in contact with different CEOs and investors. And again, a lot of those people that we met are our friends to this day. And this was 6 years ago. Yeah, this was actually 7 years ago when I first became a vegan. That's how I remember the context. So those people we met through social media, we were able to go meet their friends on a referral in the city and go talk to them. We went to go talk to them, and then those conversations led us to somewhere else. And then those conversations led us to somewhere else. And in that same week is how, because of my friend, he happened to work for a particular company. They were getting bought out by Beats by Dre. Then that's how we were able to be Dr. Dre, Jimmy Iovine. And not only that, that conversation led to some more ideas. And those ideas, we came up with these ideas before we met a particular investor. That investor gave us some more feedback. And actually, that's how we started getting on the Bitcoin stream of things, was because we weren't even into Bitcoin at that time. But all of those conversations based on social media and us meeting these particular people, which led to more conversations with other people. And again, we literally started building up our network in California because we had none. So utilizing these simple tools that everybody has access to, it allowed us to go meet these people that we never would have met otherwise. You see, world is a lot smaller now because of the internet, much easier to network. Definitely much easier to network. I know the things I do don't seem shy, because it's like if I see somebody, whether they make a movie, whether they do something that I really love, I'll reach out to them. I'll find them. I'll reach out to them on social media. I'll talk to them. I'll ask them questions. I love cartoons and animation. I reach out to people that produce cartoons and animations. I literally just type in their names, type in their information. Hey, my name is Lay. I saw such and such that you did. I really liked it. Boom. And that's how I meet him. There was a guy that I saw that made Jordans. He was one of the top designers for Jordan. I saw him on a video. I reached out to him. And little did I know that I'm going to be meeting him this upcoming week. I didn't know that. However, it was just these types of things, again, not being afraid to reach out and touch people, can help you come into contact with people that you would never expect.
Man, you're hitting on a lot of themes that
I know I'm rambling.
No. The rambling is good because you keep your repetition is great, and without repetition, a lot of this stuff just goes in and comes out. So we need the repetition, and this is a running theme, running motif throughout our shows and our talks. In that, number one, I was hearing belief.
Oh yeah.
Having, like my man was saying, talking about being relentless and being convicted.
Oh man.
And it's resilient and having fortified that inner belief, no matter what people say, that you're gonna stand on it and you're gonna follow through with it. You need that when you're walking the yellow brick road of networking, because you're gonna come face to face with a lot of no's, a lot of shut doors.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, you're gonna make those much needed connections that will put you at the forefront, and you be like, how I get way up here? And it's like you talked about the connections that you had put you at the forefront of the Bitcoin wave.
Yeah.
I can remember having you have a conversation about Bitcoin years ago. I'm like, what's that and who cares?
Yeah.
But now everybody cares, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's like, I wish I would have actually been in front of that wave and took advantage of my connection in the network, not realizing how valued our connections are. So with the old cliche of don't burn bridges really holds true. It's something we talked about. What would you tell your younger self? And one of the things when it comes to networking and net worthing is that you don't burn bridges. Keep them connected in some way, shape, or form. That's just part of the world we live in, part of the game, you know.
Let's see. But Wando said a man's gift will make room for him and he will stand before King. Definitely that. I definitely agree with that. And also, like Kevin said, don't burn bridges. Focus on building bridges.
Yeah.
And if you focus more on building bridges, you won't have time to worry about burning them, right? So it's that kind of thing. Patrice says she reached out to an app developer that got a million subscribers in her first week. Yeah, it's the type of stuff you have to, because we're so connected. It's easy. Man, you gotta take advantage of this day and age.
Be fearless. It goes back to another thing.
You have to. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's just like, I just think of the opportunity. I know there are a lot of wrong things in the world, but guess what? There's always a lot of wrong things in this world. Take advantage of the breadth that you have. Take advantage of the opportunities and the tools that are presented before you. The stuff that we're doing right now would cost us millions of dollars years ago.
Live stream, yeah.
Will cost you millions of dollars. Now everybody has a network in their pocket. They have a network in their pocket that they take with them on a daily basis. Utilize these tools. These are things that people dreamed of having. You have these, you have these things right at your fingertips. So take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Don't take anything for granted. Be thankful. The more thankful you are for the things you have, the more opportunities you see. Yeah. But
can I get an amen on that?
Yeah, because you'll start valuing those things that you have, right? It's like, if I value the fact that I've met somebody, if I value the fact that I'm in this location or I'm in this particular place, if I value the fact that I live in a particular city, then I can meet as many people as possible. Then I can value those relations when I make them. All of these things work together for the good of them that are called according to His purpose, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like, again, who love, it's like, not only love the Lord, but love people, right?
Well, when you have that love in you, you love life and you love people. It's automatic.
And again, you just don't take for granted. Because sometimes, I know I mentioned it last time, somebody else was talking about it. I was watching today, or Damon John, I saw his book, The Power of Being Broke. Being broke helps you value a lot of different things that you may not otherwise value. And I know for me, growing up, the way I grew up and growing up in the different neighborhoods and seeing family members go through different hardships, I value a lot of different things that most people take for granted. And I make sure I remind myself to value these things. I make sure my children value these things because they don't understand it. I make sure that they don't have, that they don't have the same hardships that I had. However, I make sure that I make them value the things that they have in their life. Don't take it for granted. Don't take your sister for granted. Mm-hmm. Don't take your mother for granted. Don't take your friends for granted. Don't take where you live. Don't take anything for granted. And that way, value comes from a lot of different things, a lot of unearthed places. See, Mwando, the biggest secret is that the people you are looking for are also looking for you. Bam. There are guys looking for the right mind to mentor, the right people to help. It's definitely true, man. It's definitely true. And again, when you become, I don't even want to call it fearless in a sense, but when you are hungry and seeking, right? Yeah. When you're seeking for things, they become easier to find.
Well, they say student ready, teacher will appear.
Yeah. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And again, because I could go through a list of, you would be amazed at all the people that we've met, the many people we've come in contact with, all because we wanted to meet them. It was that simple. It sounds,
ooh.
Yeah, but I'm serious. Every person Lamar and I have wanted to meet, wrote it down. It's like, we want to meet this person. We didn't even have a game plan. We just knew that we were going to figure it out. And writing that stuff down, having that idea, putting it out there in the world, the law of magnetism and energy. Yeah, man, I believe that stuff, man. It's like we just had goals and ideas and dreams, and they started manifesting, and they manifested. It wasn't even necessarily up to us how they manifested. And it's those kinds of things, right? It's those kinds of things that in life that come out of pure desire, out of praying, out of all of these different things. And you would be surprised at the kinds of things you can accomplish in this life, the kinds of,
But I could go on. Well, no, it's good because what I'm thinking of, because I know you all story personally, is that I know the real foundation is that, the word that's been given, to y'all, listening to y'all and stuff, that you're holding on to you're having unbelief. You're convicted and standing on words that have been spoken. So this was what helps assure you. You have assurance.
Yeah, and it's just and the words for us that have been spoken have been written down in the scriptures.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything anybody.
Is this special? Yeah.
Particularly to us.
It's just, man. That's a good point. In that everybody has access to it, and if you just believe it and stand on it with conviction.
Yeah,
then
it's like I always say, occupy till he comes, right? It's it's this one phrase that was going around. I saw somebody posted. It's like faith is somebody says it's rain. Faith is looking at your window. Belief is taking an umbrella or something like that. I can't remember. I don't. I'm always jack stuff up like that. but anyway, it's really just like you said. We always talk about being resolute, being convicted, those kinds of things. And somebody mentioned it earlier, relentless. Oh yeah, we're definitely relentless. It's because it can't. Certain things in life can't happen unless you put forth your own effort, right? And like you said, certain other things are already taking place in the background that you have no control over. And as long as I know that I'm confident in knowing that as long as I do what I'm supposed to do personally, then these things will come to pass.
Well, it made me think of intentions demands opposition, just to prove and test how good or how strong are your intentions. Right. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I meant to do it. I intended to do it, but So intentions do create opposition, and you got to be prepared to go to war whenever you decide to make a move.
Yeah, but anyway, just to get back to the general theme, love life.
Love life.
Love life. Let's see, you said, I take the day as it comes, but when you see something, you have to seize it. And when you're presented with the risk, take it. Sir David Tang, he died last year. Man. Yeah, that's a great quote. As the day comes, seize it, right? So the opportunities, you have to seize it. And again, we always rehash other stuff we've always said, but knowing your why, knowing your purpose, knowing all of those things make those opportunities more clear, right? If you don't know what your purpose or your why is, you'll actually miss the opportunities that are right in front of your face. You just don't realize you were designed to take advantage of it.
Man, that's all I got.
Kevin's out of words.
I'm out of words.
Anybody have any questions or comments before we get going? I know it's a short day for me. Got to do some martial arts with the family. Boom, bow, bow. Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for stopping through. Maurice, Patrick, what's up, Patrick? Another Bitcoin guy. Mawando, Jeremy, what's up, bro? Yeah, life is definitely literally a gift. What's going on, Mo? Thanks for stopping through, bro. And everybody who didn't see, thank my wife for stopping through. Of course, she's going to support her baby. Miss Karen, thank you. Michael, okay, I didn't see what Michael, okay, really awesome tips. Thanks, bro. I'm glad that what we're saying can help you. Let's see, who else is in the Patrice? Thanks for stopping by. Let's see, Elijah was here. I don't know if you're still there. Miss Cheryl, of course, Cheryl stopping through and supporting all the time. Pam, thank you. Somebody's waving. I just see the post pop up. We can't see who it is. But yeah, we definitely love you guys. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you just for listening to us. This was something that we had thought about. We were trying to figure out what to talk about, and then I was like, man, let's just talk about networking. It's something that's one of the gospels that I like to preach outside of. Don't worry about it. It's recorded. If you missed most of the live, it's still recorded. If you write a comment, we'll still respond. Definitely, we appreciate your shares, likes or shares, anything that supports. We definitely miss it. He said he missed the high kick emoji. I missed the high kick. So yeah, we're scrolling back through just to see who stopped by and made a comment. I guess go to the bottom before we jump off. Yeah, it's funny. See, it's all good. We appreciate you stopping by anyway, Patrick. Patrick's good people. Anybody in the crypto space interested in how to do ATMs, definitely reach out to Patrick.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that's funny. I was just said the other day.
Really?
Bitcoin ATMs.
Yeah, talk to Patrick. He's definitely the guy. He's been doing this for quite some time. Met him a few years back Then we had lunch recently, and I was like, man, you look familiar. And again, social media. Met a meetup. These are the kinds of things that I'm talking about, and that's what we're talking about, Patrick, if you're still there. Utilizing social media to increase your net worth, which basically people is your real net worth, to be honest.
Yeah.
Outside of people,
man, none stuff matters.
Does not matter. Who cares if you're rich and there's nobody around? It's like the last man on earth, right? He had access to all of these things, but life still sucked. So people are the real net worth, and once you realize that, then you'll start utilizing the tools that are before you.
I have a feeling you guys are about to pitch an MLM. No, ain't no MLM coming.
That's funny, Jay. Definitely not doing that. 31st for local Bitcoin meetup for anybody that's interested. No MLMs here. Like I always tell people, I'm totally transparent. All I'm trying to do personally, Shy Guys, we're trying to help people, and for me, I'm trying to build community. Because I value people. I definitely value people, so I'm always trying to build a tribe of people that I can communicate with, that I can connect with, that I can talk to. So anytime I'm in a new city, I don't have to worry about being lonely.
Man,
I can reach out to friends.
That's a part of building your network. Yeah,
I can reach out to friends, people I've talked to, people I've communicated with. So it's not like we're strangers. So if I show up, it's like, hey, what's going on? We have lunch. We just pick up where we left off, and that's what I've learned to do over time. And this is one of the best ways to do it. So yeah, no MLM here, brother.
Nah,
if I have one, I'll run it by you first, Jay. Okay. All right. Thanks, Gabe. We appreciate that.
Yep. Thanks for joining us today. We just wanted to kind of just talk about that, have a little conversation about using social media, and just having fun with that as well. So hit like, hit share, leave a comment on people's comments, do all the things that needs to be done to help us keep the show going. We definitely appreciate it.
And Jay, real quick, crypto is crypto related. My business partner Lamar, he does a crypto question and answer. We're in the crypto blockchain space. Lamar handles the crypto side. I go in occasionally, but he's the dude when it comes to that. So that's the only reason why crypto seems related, is because that's what I do for a living. So that's it, man. Not selling you anything, brother.
He's a big hub on many networks.
Who's that?
You are. That's why he recognizes you. You're everywhere, man. You in all kinds of networks.
I just love people, and I love connecting people, and I love connecting silos.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks for joining us, and I think we're going to call it a show today.
Yeah, it's a wrap, people. Love you. Take care. God bless.